Guru Bhaktananda Swami. Swamiji, I was indeed honored to have you, and your presence is a blessing here to all of us. We thank you. These Swamis will address you also in a short while. On behalf of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, we have an apology from His Grace Vibhu Chaitanya Das. Unfortunately, he had to attend to another situation in Johannesburg of somebody passing on. And he sent a message which we'll play later. He was a very dear friend and spiritual guide for Randhir. And you'll hear about it in Judith's speech in a short while. One of our senior-most leaders for the International Society for Krishna Consciousness here in South Africa and abroad is Dr. Smita Krishna Das, or Dr. Ramson. And he's one of our foremost preachers in the movement, one of our foremost leading devotees. We are indeed grateful to have him here as well. Smita Krishna Prabhu, welcome. Thank you very much. Smita Krishna Prabhu will be addressing us with a discourse on Bhagavad Gita, and I promise you it is most exciting and most enlightening. He will also take some questions from you, whatever questions you may have, no matter how difficult or how emotional the question may be. He'd be able to address that today. That's his expertise. With him in attendance is also one of our full-time monks from the Hare Krishna temple here in Chatsworth, His Grace Randhir Sugudhav Prabhu. He's an expert singer. Those of you who are familiar with Krishna Das on YouTube, the famous singer of Maha Mantra, he's the duplicate of that, so you'll hear him soon. Thank you very much, Randhir Sugudhav Prabhu. We're also indeed grateful to Siu Prabhu and the local devotees for your bhajans, and I believe you'll continue with the bhajans later. We're indeed grateful. They've had close association with Randhir, and Randhir interacted with them and supported their festivals and projects throughout in the town. And we're indeed grateful to them that they're also coming out here and supporting Judith and my aunt through this very, very difficult time. Before we begin with the speeches, the first and foremost speech is your host, Judith Sugudhav. We have pre-recorded it owing to emotions, so please do listen, and then we'll continue.
Gentlemen and ladies, families and friends, a warm welcome to you all to this occasion of my son's one-year memorial service. I'm really honored and pleased to see so many of you all seated here in this auditorium. Thank you.
At the base.
You may call this my speech or my eulogy. No, I'd like to call it my life's story. A joyful one, a sad one, a bitter one, but a resilient one too. Steeped in faith in Krishna, Prabhupada, and the Messianic Christians. Today my heart is heavy as we gather to mark 1 year since Randhir's passing. It is a heartbreaking moment, for in remembering him, I also bear the pain of a longer, more arduous journey, a journey that began 29 long years ago. On the 26th of October 1995, I lost my eldest son, Pravesh. Then, on the 1st of September 2017, I said goodbye to my Nizam. And now, on the 29th of September 2024, Randhir has left this world. Gentlemen and ladies, these 3 days, 3 sons, 3 beautiful lives extinguished in the prime of their lives, not of old age and its afflictions, but in lives full of energy and vigor. Sunday, the 29th, started as a beautiful day, yet the morning took a windy turn. I cancelled my regular walk, unaware that there was Krishna's higher arrangement for a deeper purpose. Instead, I chose to begin my morning prayer. I hadn't seen Randhir that night before because he had come home a bit late. Only later would I learn that he had spent the evening visiting loved ones, offering them gifts of cash, a final act of selfless generosity. As I was finishing my prayers and sitting down to breakfast, I heard him enter the bathroom. It was then that the maid called for my attention, saying Randhir had asked for me, and that something was wrong. I rushed to the locked bathroom door and with a growing sense of dread, climbed onto the outside ledge. Through the window, I saw Randhir lying on the floor. We broke down the door and carried him to his bed. As I held his face in my hands, I began to chant the sacred prayers of Nishringadev. Jai Nishringadev, Jai Nishringadev, Jai Nishringadev. Oh my Lord, the Lord of Prahlad Maharaj, kindly save my son. Did he save my son? Yes, he did. He didn't only save him, but he delivered him. He saved him by holding him personally. As I felt the presence of the Vishnu Dutas fill the room, there was an unusual and profound peacefulness and quietude. There were no tears, no suffering, no signs of pain from Randhir. In that moment, I knew that Lord Nishringadev had made a beautiful decision to return my son Randhir back home to the spiritual world, cradled in a loving embrace, free from all earthly pain and sorrow. But while my heart feels the deep and painful separation, my son is buoyed by the profound signs spoken of in our sacred text, the Bhagavad Gita. The philosophy brought to us by the eternal grace of Srila Prabhupada has been my anchor. It has taught me that the soul is eternal, never born, never dying. It simply passes on from one body to the next. So, how do we find our pathway in the midst of such tragedy? For me, the answer is in understanding that their service and their state there as my son was part of their eternal journey. I had the good fortune to play the role of the father and have their association in this lifetime. And oh, what a great association it was. We were a formidable team and a family. We worked side by side in our retail shops and supermarkets, building a business and more importantly, building a life together. I remember the joys of raising them, of educating them, and then watching with immense pride as they grew into men of character and conviction. They inspired me to rise to new heights in business and in my own spiritual practice and seva. My brothers and sisters, again, in their absence, Randhir especially took on the added care, giving me the attention and companionship needed to fill the immense void left by brothership and events past. He was my rock and my constant companion. He cared more than I would have expected. He was present more than I would have expected. For that I am eternally grateful to him. Randhir, just like his brothers, Pradesh and Niven, was filled with empathy for those less fortunate and steeped in a culture of service to the Lord and his institutions. His generosity knew no boundaries. He helped everyone, from ISKCON to Divine Life, from temples to churches and mosques, from old age homes to orphanages, and from schools to communities. He was selfless and generous. He especially wanted Srila Prabhupada's books going out to the world. He would sponsor thousands of them and give them away free, here in South Africa and in other parts of the world, often taking the time to explain the philosophy to anyone who would listen with an open heart. Like his brothers, Randhir was also attached to chanting the Hare Krishna, and you would find him each day with his beads and bead, fully absorbed in the chantings of Hare Krishna. It is said that a parent's longevity witnessed by their children is a blessing, and to meet that blessing with anything less than respect and honor is to forfeit the highest of destinations. My three sons, Pravesh, Ivan and Randhir, offered their mother and me only the purest respect, love and genuine value. Because of the lives they led, I have no doubt that the Lord has already granted them their eternal reward. And I pray from the realms of my heart that their journey forward is one of blissful peace. This morning, though my heart is pained, it is also filled with a great and spiritual joy. It is a joy that my sons won't have to see old age and its afflictions of ill health, miseries and difficulties. Instead, they will see a life free from all, because I am confident they are with the Supreme Lord, eternally continuing their service there. This is not a fanciful hope. It is a proven science, a sacred truth that has helped to endure and accept my destiny. Life may take us down, but it is up to us to choose whether we want to stay down or to rise again. I have risen through faith, through understanding that serving the Lord is serving all of mankind who devote his service. And I have risen like a phoenix through the love and memories of my three sons. My other two sons have now received Randhir in their open waiting arms. Together they continue the service and selflessness. To my sons I say this: one day, my sons, we shall be together again as the formidable team and family we have always been. Until that day, I will continue our story, a story of faith and resilience, a testament to the mercy and the blessings of the Supreme Personality of God Shri Krishna and his dearmost devotee, Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. My brothers and sisters, the voices that once echoed through the walls of my home are now silent. But in that vast and stupendous silence, I know my sons are very much present in my heart and in my very being. I will go on conversing with them, and they in turn show me signs of their reciprocation in the most unusual ways. A connection that only a father can understand. My sons, I've written this rhyme through the pages of my time. I repeat, my sons, I've written this rhyme through the pages of my time. Yours was a life worth more than just remembering Krishna has made way where it seems there is no way. In the face of tragic sadness, the good Lord will surely grant you through his darshan of his smiling face. I will now read this poem which I have written for my sons. 3 flowers plucked from a garden, each a petal, each a sign. Pravesh, Niven, and Randhir. The void they left a constant tear, but the vine is rooted strong and deep. In the promise the scriptures keep, the soul a traveler on its way from this realm to a brighter day. I was the gardener blessed to see each blossom in its vibrancy, that in my 3 sons, now you all return to the ultimate garden in the spiritual sky, free from this world's pain, toil, decay, and suffering, chanting the names, a thread of gold, a story of love forever told. My sons, my joy, my formidable tree, until we meet in eternity. Go well, my sons, and God be with you. Thank you, my brothers and sisters. Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you to my uncle, Judith, for that message. It is indeed heart-rendering. We worked through it for a week, and I must tell you, he sounded quite composed there, but recording it was quite a task, because he was quite emotional through many of it, like that, you know. As you would see that Randhir, there's a great underpinning here, great foundation with the Hare Krishna movement. Although Randhir supported many organizations, anything to do with spirituality, he was supporting that. And personalities who were sincere and pushing on the Dharma like this. Yeah. And, but especially with the Hare Krishna movement, under the guidance of His Grace Vibhu Chaitanya, Randhir was most attached to the distribution of Vedic literature around the country and abroad. So much so that some 2,000 to 5,000 books would go out every month, sponsored by Randhir. And it still happens today. Just yesterday, our centers at Hammanskraal, Klerksdorp, Soweto, our African community centers, if I could just put it like that, although we don't really look at ourselves in denominations of color, these are some of our wonderful African devotees that are out there running our new centers. And books yesterday in honor of Randhir, sponsored by Randhir, went to all these centers for distribution. For our African friends and guests here, just a little side note. Krishna, you would have seen in one of the pictures, is made from black marble or black onyx. Because Krishna's color is black. Krishna is God, and we worship Him as such. Okay? So you're in the right place. And that's why Africa is so important. Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker, we just have very few speakers before the main presentation by His Grace Smita Krishna Prabhu. First up is His Holiness Loka Sangrananda Swami Maharaj. Swamiji has been part of the Divine Life for some 56 years. Pravesh, Niven, Randhir, and myself, we remember staying there as little boys for the yoga camps. And actually that's where I became vegetarian at the age of 9. And Swamiji was the right-hand man for Swami Sahajananda, the head of the Divine Life Society in South Africa. Over the course of time, Swami Sahajananda established more than 60 schools in the previously disadvantaged communities, the African communities, with funding from all of the congregation in the Indian communities. And Swami Lokasangrananda was that key person managing the establishment of these schools and running it and handing them over to those communities. He's been awarded many accolades in South Africa for his selfless work, for his community work like this, year after year. Currently, he is based just outside of La Mercy, where he has a center, and now establishing a bigger center there so that he can increase his footprint in service to the community. So ladies and gentlemen, if I could ask you to please rise to your feet as I ask His Holiness Loka Sangrananda Swami to please come forward to address you. Please put your hands together.
Thank you. You may be seated. Most revered devotees, dear friends and relatives, all who are here, my humble greetings to each and every one of you. For all the devotees, thank you for the beautiful singing and the transcendental sound, the spiritual vibrations that can make us evolve if we know how to relate to it. Just before I start, I thought I must share some thoughts with you regarding transcendental vibrations. That's why the function started with the chanting and singing. most of us might not know the theory. See, when chanting is done or devotional singing is done, our level of concentration differs from person to person. The first stage of concentration, we must switch off the mind to parallel thoughts. Second stage of concentration, we must forget the surrounding. Third stage of concentration, you forget your body. When you use that sound vibration to penetrate you, and your mind must connect to it, and you must feel it penetrating every cell of your being. When that happens, you evolve. When you evolve, you can evolve to such a state that when the time comes for you to leave the body, you can tell the people in your community when you are leaving the body to go to the transcendental realm. And there are such cases. You take Sadhguru's wife. She gave the date and time when she will consciously leave the body and go to the spiritual world. So this is a science, and therefore you find Hare Krishna propagating this science, but most of us do not understand the theory, because theory precedes practice. So if the theory is very clear, then we can practice it and achieve success. Regarding the seva and charity, I remember in all, Divine Life built more than 600 schools, and I remember the days when I used to build schools, and Swamiji is here as a civil engineer. I used to do my quantity surveying. After I build a school, there'll be only one barrel of sand left. And the most difficult work is fundraising, to build schools, clinics, old age homes, and at that time we used to feed about 5,000 children a day. And my job, and we had a group of devotees, our job was to find the money. So we used to go house to house, give them spiritual literature, and ask them for contribution because we were building schools. And I remember I used to leave Durban at about 5 o'clock, summertime. And I used to come just to Udit's family alone. And they'll have a small collection tent. Sometimes you all know, you all do charity. It's difficult to suddenly take out big amounts of money. But the way the mother planned it, we used to give them little tins. And every day they will put in some money, 20 rand or 30 rand or 50 rand or 100 rand. I used to come 5 o'clock because at that time we used to feed 5,000 children a day in Amsinyati, throughout Ndwetwe, and many other places, Chatsworth, Merebank, and the sandwiches and food used to be prepared early in the morning. I'll come 5:30 just to with its family alone, all the brothers and sisters, and I'll collect all the tins, and I'll go back with 8,000 rand. Now, how many people do charity like that? If we were feeding 5,000 children a day, it is a contribution and the sacrifice of each and every one that have contributed. And an ashram is your spiritual bank. Because whatever you give to an ashram, see, money is neutral Shakti. When it goes to an ashram, it becomes divine Shakti. It becomes a hospital, it becomes a clinic, it becomes a school. And what greater gift you can give to a child beside education. So therefore schools, Swamiji's decision to build schools, and therefore we also dedicate our life. We said the greatest gift you can give to a human being is to give the schools. And each and every one, like in this community, we knew the Papa family, and we used to come to them. And then there were many others also who have cooperated. And Randhir, if my vehicle is an 100% order, they are 20-year-old cars, Randhir will maintain all our vehicles, never charge us for spares. And he'll give so much of charity. I remember they even built some classrooms. And so many different charities, but I don't know how he'll make his budget for the, I don't know how many years, right from the 80s and years from that time I knew the family, and not at any time Randhir refused. I wrote some thoughts down to present to you, but So much came into my mind, I just went speaking, spontaneously. I must tell you another incident that took place. One day, Randhir's mother, Granny, gave me a collection tin, and I shook it, and I said, "No, there's nothing here," because it was not making the noise. She said, "No, beta, you open, the children put the money." I said, "But there's nothing here, ma." She's saying, "No, you listen to me, you open that tin." And when I opened the tin, there was only notes, so it was not shaking. So there was only 100 rand notes, and 200 rand notes, and 50 rand, and 20 rand. In all, it was a couple of thousand rands. So that gives us an idea. Charity covereth a multitude of sins. So emotional charity, intellectual charity, the different types of charities. But most of us, we don't have the time to go and work in an ashram or do seva. If we're feeding 5,000 children, how many people got the time to be coming and participate in the work? But your hard-earned money you can give, your money will do the work. So we are only an extension of your hand. And therefore the Swamis make service and sacrifice their wealth, and therefore they are respected. See, Shivananda was a doctor managing 2 hospitals. He made service and sacrifice his wealth. And the Swamis are also human mind engineers. They take ordinary people, they make them to philanthropists and saints, and look what wonderful work he's done throughout the world. Take Prabhupada, take Satya Sai, Ramakrishna, Vivekananda. They take ordinary people, they take the knowledge of the Gita and re-engineer their mind. So they take an ordinary person and make him to a philanthropist, to love all and serve all, to be good and do good. Often they make a joke, if you can't be good and do good, you are no good. So this is the greatness of the scriptural knowledge, that it transforms human mind to love all and serve all. And they say there's only one difference between good and God. G-O-O-D is good and G-O-D is God. It's only 1 and 0 difference. So to get closest to God, we just have to be good and do good. Let me see what I have written. Something about Randhir also. Now all the seva that his parents have been doing and his grandparents have been doing, Randhir witnessed all this from his childhood days. These memories and experiences inspired Randhir to emulate the values that his grandparents imparted to his parents and the family values that they lived by. These family values are taught in the Ramayana, where every family member stands with each other in times of need and travel the journey of life through storms and sunshine. To Randhir, it was spontaneous and natural because of the environment created by his parents, which is so important in the process of parenting a child and instilling scriptural values from the Gita, which teaches the science of life and living. Yudhishthira instilled the importance of scriptural knowledge and spirituality in his children, and they spontaneously lived by these values. He instilled charity in every child. Randhir viewed all devotees of the Lord as great benefactors because his knowledge from the Gita. In chapter 18 of the Gita, Lord Krishna says, "He who takes care of my devotees is near and dear to me." Following this teaching, all with its children make silent sacrifices to support all devotees of the Lord, selflessly, and all the work undertaken by the devotees and the Swamis. For the benefit of those who don't know, I come from an ashram which serves the community in so many different ways. We all regard ourselves as servants of humanity, as an instrument in the hands of the Lord, and work selflessly. In our hearts, we acknowledge that we cannot do anything. It is God who is animating us to do everything. And we are anointed and chosen to take part in the cosmic drama of life. This is the understanding that Randhir had of the life of a devotee, including my life. My long conversations with him, whenever I visited him, revealed his depth of perception, hence his admiration for devotees. Randhir had great respect for the Gita and his teaching, and whenever he saw a servant of the Lord, he had a profound understanding of who he was and what role he played in the community, which most members of the community don't have. Therefore, whenever a devotee or a Swami went to his shop, he would take him to his office and switch off his mind for a while and listen wholeheartedly to his requests and what work they were involved in, and go out of his way to make some plan to do his very best in the midst of challenges to give his maximum support. Randhir knew all our work because he used to see the photographs and videos for evidence and audit report, and knew our organization like an X-ray machine. Whenever we approached him to support, he never refused me at any time for all the years that I knew him. And if our vehicles are in perfect running order, it was the silent sacrifice made by Randhir and many other great souls like him. Our vehicles are the heartbeat of our organization. Some of the type of work that our ashram was and is involved in is as follows: poverty alleviation, medical camps, food hamper distribution, adopt and sponsor child bursaries, scriptural classes, yoga and meditation, ashram satsangs for community, home satsang, public lectures, winter blanket drive, school uniforms, school shoes, winter beanies for children, stationery drive, children's Christmas parties, youth camps, devotional singing, language classes, agricultural research, and our latest pipeline projects are a multi-skills training center, a music school, a martial arts school will also be added to the activity. So I can go on and on, but this work that we are doing as servants of God, Randhir had a clear vision. So he knew it was well worth making the sacrifice because you become the shareholder of the blessing. I can go on and go on, but thank you so much. May God bless each and every one of you and the family for giving me time to speak. We have so much to say, but I'll stop here. Thank you also, Uditji, for the beautiful message that you have given. Thank you.
For your eloquent words. Swamiji was very close to Randhir, and of course Randhir supported his projects and his hard work. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita, Yat yat achariti shreshtas, tat tat evataro jnana, sayat pramamam kurute, lokash tat anuvartate. I'm reading this verse, and I'll give you the translation now because I want to acknowledge some very important people in this room tonight. Of course, my uncle and aunt, but most especially Nimai. You know, we are celebrating his dad here today, and of course, I want to acknowledge Teresa, Nimai's mom. It must be very difficult, I am sure. I also want to acknowledge Anusha, Abai, and Dini. We also are remembering Niven here as well, as much as we are remembering Pravesh. It is a difficult time, but be rest assured that they are in Krishna's hands and they are well taken care of. This particular verse that I read translates as such: whatever action a great man performs, common men follow. Krishna speaks this very profoundly. And by whatever standards he sets, by whatever exemplary acts, all the world pursues. So to Nimai, Dini, Abai, Anusha, Teresa, Pua, everyone else in the family, don't despair, because the mark of a man's life is the difference that he makes to the world, even in his passing and beyond. And definitely, these three cousins of mine, Pravesh, Niven, and Randhir, they definitely, amongst all their achievements, be it education, be it business, their crowning glory was that in seva, in the service of bhakti, in the service of devotion, and in the service of Krishna. And of course, ultimately, that service extended to all the communities, institutions, and religious organizations around the country and beyond. And when I say beyond, it is not just literal. It's not just, we're making some glamorous speech. No. They reached well beyond the borders of South Africa, helping our society in India and in other countries as well, to whatever abilities they were able to offer like this. So therefore it is appropriate on behalf of the cousins, I would like to call Randhir Sugudhav to give her talk.
I'm Niharika Sugudhav. I am Randhir's niece, and I just have a few things to share with you today. So I'm going to start off by sharing a verse from the Bhagavad Gita. Do not grieve over loss, for the soul is eternal. Shri Krishna says, for the soul there is neither birth nor death at any time. True wisdom is recognized, that we are beyond this physical form. With that being said, I just have a few words from my Aja, Randhir's dad, and then I'll proceed to say my side. My son was one of the bravest, noblest, and loving souls. Having him in my life and losing him shook my world, as I had lost my 3 sons. I had lost all 3 of my pillars, and that has taught me the understanding and true purpose of life, as well as the importance of being around loved ones and cherishing the small moments. With that being said, I have a few things to say. Life is a beautiful journey, filled with moments of joy, love, and growth. Even when we lose someone dear to us, life continues to move forward, carrying their memory in our hearts. It is these memories, those precious, unforgettable moments, that their spirit lives on, guiding and inspiring us every day. By treasuring every shared smile, every lesson learned, and every act of love that we shared with a loved one that we have lost, embracing the pain as part of healing, and by letting the memories be a source of comfort and strength every day. Remember, love never truly leaves us. It simply transforms into cherished memories that remind us of the profound impact our loved ones had in our lives, keeping their light alive within us and continue to live fully, carrying their legacy forward. So there's a little poem that I've read, and I hope this poem touches you as much as it touches me. When tomorrow starts without me, and I'm not here to see, if the sun should rise and find your eyes are filled with tears for me, I wish so much you wouldn't cry the way you did today, while thinking of the many things we didn't get to say. I know how much you love me, as much as I love you. And each time you think of me, I know you'll miss me too. But when tomorrow starts without me, please try to understand that an angel came and called my name and took me by the hand, and said my place was ready in heaven far above, and that I'd have to leave behind all those I dearly love. But when I walked through heaven's gates, I felt so much at home. When God looked down and smiled at me from his gate golden throne, he said, this eternity and all I promised you. Today your life on earth is past, but here it starts anew. I promise no tomorrow, for today will always last. And since each day is the same way, there's no longing for the past. I promise so when tomorrow starts without me, don't think we're far apart. For every time you think of me, I'm right here in your heart. So that's my little part I had to say, and that poem touched me because when I went through losing my mom, Randhir really touched my life, touched me, and he really stood by me. So that poem really made me feel close to him, and I hope it touched you as much as it touched me. Thank you.
From South Africa. This person from America says, now you tell me one place in Nairobi, one place in Kenya where you can say you have this kind of variegatedness and people are working together in a loving spirit. And he immediately could understand due to his knowledge of tribal problems, racial problems, etc. So we are showing what is possible. And we are humbly and submissively willing to offer that, to help to solve some of the seemingly unsolvable problems in this world. Thank you very much.
Birth, but by identity and origin, he's Hare Krishna. And he's black, yeah. I had the good fortune of serving him, being his servant, being his assistant like this, and so did Smita Krishna and so many others in this room that may have had the good fortune of meeting him. That recording, as much as it is so profound, so dynamic, and so relevant right now, was recorded at the opening of our temple 40 years ago, 1985. And it wasn't long thereafter, some 20 years later, Nelson Mandela came to visit, based on his meetings with Nelson Mandela. And Nelson Mandela came once, he came twice, he came thrice. He loved it because he saw that the blueprint for the new South Africa was already existing within the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And we invite you to come and experience this. We are celebrating 40 years of our flagship temple. We have 20 temples and centers around the country, but our main major attraction is the Sri Sri Radharanath temple here in Durban. And that's the regular place of my uncle and aunt and also these boys that were regularly there. And also we're celebrating 50 years since His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, the founder of our movement, landed on the shore where it was already established by his disciples who came ahead. And he spent 2 weeks in the country, and he made a profound and lasting change to the spiritual landscape of this country. We're celebrating that this year, 50 years. One man with just $7 in his pocket embarked on a steamship. He hitched a ride, basically, from Kolkata to New York, and then he changed the world. So much so that CNN, a few years back, listed him as one of the top 50 people around the world who have made lasting changes to the world and has been the most successful personalities that have ever walked this planet in the last 100 years. So we invite you. It's free. Come and join us. We're giving you a little taste today. On the far end, we have a table there. There's some 300 books. We are giving them free. Magazines, books, etc. Pick them, take them as you wish, and take some time to read them. So ladies and gentlemen, without much further ado, I would like to now introduce you to our keynote speaker for the day, and thereafter we shall give some concluding remarks and serve lunch. Please, would you kindly rise to your feet, put your hands together, and please welcome His Grace, Dr. Smita Krishna Das. Accompanying him is Randhir Sugudhav, who will also do some kirtan before the talk as well. Thank you. You may be seated.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So I'd like my good friend Randhir Sugudhav to lead us in some kirtan, and then I'll speak. So in the meantime, I could just say that I'm also feeling very affected by the wonderful expressions of love that we're hearing for all of our boys that have left us. And I want to offer my respects, my pranams to Swamiji, Hare Krishna, and to all the guests. And in a little while we'll speak. So we won't keep you too long, but I think it's also essential that we gain solace from understanding the deeper meanings to life, which we can all imbibe and take them as lessons for ourselves also. So I'll just, Ravindra Swarup will lead us in Kirtan. This chanting of the holy name has been emphasized also by our esteemed Swami. It's not a sectarian process. It's not a Hindu chant. It's not an African chant. It's not an American chant. It's a universal sound vibration that emanates from the spiritual world. As you're seated here now, there are several vibrations like radio waves that are in this room. If you have a device, a radio, and you switch it on and you tune it, you can pick up different frequencies. So similarly, the spiritual sound vibration is pervading the entire universe, the cosmos. So it is up to us to tune in to gain access to that sound. So today we're encouraging you. It's very simple. It's 3 words, Hare, Krishna and Ram. And it's beyond all the temporary designations we have of color, language, culture, race, nationality. It is a spiritual sound vibration that belongs to the soul. And therefore, let us go beyond our shyness, sometimes our contrived sophistication, which prevents us from really surrendering to it. So in unison, in chorus, Ravindra will lead us. Please everybody, you please chant in chorus in a few minutes.
Take that, you got a turn where Jai Prabhu. Yeah, no, sure, we got it. Because what you see this?
Hare Krishna. So we went to recite the prayer mantras for our spiritual master, and then we will go to the mount. Om Jnana Timbrandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshururmidam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Everybody close your eyes. Just sing after me. Hare Krishna Srila Prabhupada ki.
Hare Krishna. Sure. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for your kind participation in the what is called the Yuga Dharma. The universe goes through different stages of development. In fact, it starts off with a golden age in which everything is pious and everything is auspicious, and over time it deteriorates. So we begin with a golden age known as Sat Yuga, and then we lose 25% of that auspiciousness and becomes the Silver Age. And then it becomes the Copper Age, and in this age is known as the Iron Age of quarrel and hypocrisy. If you look around, you can see that every little thing in the world, small quarrels lead to worldwide wars. And in this age is also a very difficult time. The great sage Vyasadeva, in his spiritual vision 5,000 years ago, he saw this age to be like this. Prayena payusa sabhya kalo asmin yuge jana mandas manda mataya mando bhagya upadruta. This is in Sanskrit. Sanskrit is the original language on this planet. It's spoken by the great sages. That's called Devanagari. Above this planet, there's heavenly planets and great denizens, residents live there. They're called Devas, and they speak this language, therefore it's Devanagari. So this Sanskrit is saying, this verse is saying that in this age of Kali Yuga, people will be short-lived. They will be quarrelsome. They will be lazy. They will be unlucky. And they will always be disturbed. So this is the symptom of this age, Kali Yuga. As long as we don't come to understand and accept that there is a higher dimension of living, then we'll think that this world is all that there is, and we'll continue to struggle in this world. So the first ABC of spiritual life is to understand who you are. Atato Brahma Jignasa. To ask that question, who am I? Just yesterday I was speaking to a group of youth and asked that question, who are you? And so everybody gave their names, which family they belong to, classify themselves as their race, and all of that. In this audience, we can see that there are people from all different cultures and backgrounds and even different levels of spiritual advancement. In this country, we are very much entrenched in the idea of identifying people externally, and politicians use it to their advantage. Instead of uniting people, they separate people for votes. But the ancient wisdom teaching of the Vedas, they say you are none of these things, you're none of these external things. You're not this body. You are spirit soul. So we are not Indian, we are not white, we're not African, we're not American, we're not Russian. We're not Ukrainian or Russian, nor are we Palestinian or Israeli. We're none of these things. We're not the body, we're spirit soul, and the spirit soul cannot be given that external designation. Deeper than that, I am not Hindu, I am not Muslim, I'm not Christian, I'm not Jew. Because the spirit soul is none of that. I don't want to speak about any temporary designation. Today one person is Christian, tomorrow is Muslim. Or is Hindu, then is Christian. So where's the permanence in that identity too? So given this understanding that we're not the body, it is expected to know that the material body that we have is going to go through some struggle in this world. You've been, where's the youngsters? I know everybody's been to the fun fair, right? Some stage of your life you went. You see the big Ferris wheel. So you are circulating in that Ferris wheel of life. The ocean of samsara. Sometimes you're on top in the heavenly planets, sometimes in the middle in the earthly planets, sometimes in the lower hellish planets, and you go round and around and around. And what do we struggle with here? Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. Birth, death, old age and disease. That's why this planet is called Mritya Loka. Loka means planet, Mritya means death. The planet of death. And you cannot escape it. Therefore the sages, the wise, they make some effort in their lives to understand the difference between temporary life here and eternal life beyond this. And all the scriptures, they teach that this life is temporary and there's something higher. So the people who engage in spiritual practice, they are known as transcendentalists because they transcend, they're going over. Now, Srila Prabhupada made this knowledge of our identity and the practice of spiritual life, he made it available to everybody in a very short period of time. So if I am not the body and my spirit soul, then what is my duty? My duty is to understand my connection with the origin, supreme soul, who we call God, who is our benevolent Father and who is waiting for us to come back to Him we made a foolish choice to leave our spiritual home and enter into this ocean of samsara by choice. You see, the spirit soul, you and I, we have independence. The Supreme Lord has independence, and we are like the Supreme Lord in quality. Just like a drop of seawater is very much like the ocean in quality, but not quantity. So the seawater drop will be salty. So similarly, the Supreme Lord is supremely independent, and we get one little piece of that independence, and therefore we choose. You see, because if God made you only to love Him without choice, then that won't be love. That will be force. So it gives you some independence. And when you choose to love Him, that is love. So we enter into this ocean of samsara, and we have to go through so many births and deaths. Sometimes through a normal course of life at old age, at other times through disease, we pass away, and other times through calamities in this world. And according to the impressions we come out in our life, that's how our lives will unfold. But it becomes very heart-sore because we are in a relationship with people that we love. And then when we lose them, it affects us tremendously. It tears out our heart because of that love and that attachment. But everybody is coming through. In this life, we have come together as a family. But we've lived previous lives. And we had family there too. But we are not hankering for those relationships because they are gone and we've forgotten them. And then from this life we'll move on, and if we're successful, we won't have to come back here. But if we have some impressions to achieve still, some activities to achieve, then we will come back at a very advanced stage and we'll continue our journey, because this life is a journey and we have to face an examination here. Life is an education, we have to face an examination. So people are at different levels of understanding in society about their spiritual life. So therefore the saintly people come and they say, please use your life, make your life successful. Arise. Wake up, sleeping soul. Jeev jago, jeev jago. Wake up, sleeping soul. For so long you have lived in the lap of the witch called Maya. Illusion. So please arise. And everything that happens to us, as calamitous as it may seem, is actually for the best of our interests in relation to re-establishing our relationship with the Supreme Lord. It jogs us, it pushes us, it gives us deeper meditation. It forces us to ask the essential questions about life and its temporariness. So, Srila Prabhupada came and he taught us this, and we are very indebted to hearing from him. I want to give a little Leela story which will give some solace also. The Supreme Lord, in our understanding, is known as the all-attractive person. And in Sanskrit, these two syllables are Krishna, meaning the all-attractive person. And Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that anyone who does service for him is most dear to him. So that service is never lost. Even if we pass away, it's never lost. Whatever material achievements you make, if you do not use that as a service to God, they will be lost. But whatever spiritual advancement you make, even 1%, you begin with that 1% in your next life. So Krishna, he comes in this age as Lord Chaitanya. He comes in the guise of his own devotee to show how to worship him. And Lord Chaitanya, he inaugurated this chanting of the holy name. He predicted that the holy name would spread throughout the world. In fact, his life and mission is a fulfillment of a prophecy. So once Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was having this huge kirtan, like we were having, in the house of a devotee called Srivas. And Lord Chaitanya is ecstatically dancing in the kirtan, spreading, doing this. And this is what happens. As Lord Chaitanya was dancing in Srivas Angan, the home of Srivas, some crying was heard from one of the rooms. Srivas was called into the inner chambers of the house, and there he found his son had passed away. His wife and the other family members were weeping. Srivas told them that their son was most fortunate because he passed away when Lord Chaitanya, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was performing Nama Sankirtan in their home. Their son had definitely returned to the spiritual world. Sit, ask him to sit. Srivas Thakur further told them, if their crying disturbed the Lord's dancing, then he would give up his life. He asked them to keep silent and not disturb the kirtan. After saying this, Srivas Thakur went back and joined the kirtan, even though his son had passed away. As the morning approached, Lord Chaitanya stopped the kirtan and asked Srivas, I feel in my heart that there is some sadness in this house. Srivas, what is it? Srivas was smiling and said, my Lord Gauranga, with your beautiful moon-like face smiling in bliss while you were dancing in my house, there could be nothing but happiness. Then one of the other devotees said that Shiva's son had passed away. Upon hearing this, Lord Chaitanya began to cry in front of everyone and spoke, how can I possibly give up the association of such a devotee who does not know any sorrow in this world, even to the extent of the death of his own son, just to make me happy? How can I give up such a person's association? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then went into the room, and by his power, he asked the child to rise. Why did you leave your father's house? He asked the child. To everyone's surprise, the child sat up and began to speak. My Lord, I am your eternal servant, and wherever you send me, that's where I want to be. By the power of destiny and by the power of your mercy, I was allowed to live all these days in the auspicious home of my father, Srivas. But now, by the power of your will, my destiny is to move to another body. Who is my relative? Who is my father? Who is my mother? When the time comes, the soul must depart from the body. Now, my Lord, I beg you, please forgive me for any offenses I've made, and grant me the boon that wherever you send me, I may have the association of your devotees. With your permission, I will go now. Speaking like this, the child then lay down and left. They all fell, everyone fell at the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya and begged him to always keep them in the association of devotees. Because of your, Lord Chaitanya proclaimed, and I'm saying to Udit and his family, because of your unconditional love, Lord Chaitanya is saying, myself and Nityananda are eternally your sons. Then the Lord performed the last rites for the child. The message of the story is that unwavering devotion brings all auspiciousness, despite the externals of what may happen and all of the heart rendering and the emotions. So simply by unwavering devotion, everything becomes auspicious. So we take heart from this, Lord Chaitanya himself personally, because all of you are involved in the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, distributing these thousands of Bhagavad Gitas, distributing the holy name, distributing prasadam, facilitating this huge gathering in which people who would not normally give the time of day to listen to anything about Bhagavad Gita and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu may have come here, and now they have heard. And because this is a transcendental sound vibration, even though externally someone may not be interested, but it has resonated with the essence of their soul. And somewhere along their own lives, when they need the help, they will remember this, that I am not the body, I'm a spirit soul. I have an eternal relationship with the Supreme Beloved who is my Father, and He is waiting to guide me, waiting to welcome me back as well. And in this way, because you have done this service, Krishna says, one who spreads my glories is very dear to me. And that's what you have done. You spread His glories through the memorial service for our departed. My cousins, Udit's my uncle. So we want to remember with great fondness their contribution and their relationships we've had with them. But at the same time, we want to rejoice that the Supreme Lord Himself declares that He will personally take care of one who's engaged in His service. So today we can take heart with that. And we'd like everybody, whichever background, whatever religion you're coming from, you please make a serious effort to understand the depth of your teachings. Do not identify yourselves on externals as Hindu, Christian, Muslim, and Jew, just as a rubber stamp. Understand the depth of your teachings and practice it properly so that everybody can make advancement, because we are a community and we want to see that everybody is happy, spiritually happy. So please do this. Go back to your books, open them up. If they're on the shelf in your altar, dust them off. Read and try to advance, because spiritual life is a ladder. And we climb the rung. To go up the ladder, up the stairs, you've got to take the lower foot off the lower stair so you can go to the next stair. And this is what human life is about. It's about advancing spiritually and fulfilling your destiny as an eternal spirit soul who's an eternal lover of the Supreme Beloved. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Haridev Prabhu is encouraging that I can take a question or two. Is anybody who'd like to ask something, if you're not shy? How goes the time? Or as they say in Shakespeare, how goes the moon, boy? We're on schedule, all right. If anybody's got a question, comment. There's a hand going up there. You want to take? Hare Krishna.
In your talk, you mentioned something about the current world situation.
Would you like to give him this roving mic, then everybody can hear?
Haribol, Hare Krishna, everyone. My question is about the current situation in the world today. You did mention earlier on that we do not have identity. We must not identify ourselves by a specific identity. You spoke about the Russians and the Ukrainians, Israelis and Palestinians. In our country, we also have a lot of turmoil based on character and race. Over this last week, I've been reflecting and thinking about the spirituality of this world. While I was praying yesterday morning, I did a special prayer to Lord Brahma, who we understand is the creator of this world and universe. And in the current situation, there's so much of challenges where people are suffering, are starving, famine, people are dying. How much more of this suffering is there going to be? How much more of our prayers to the Lords, the creators of the universe and those that give us mercy, will this ever come to an end? Have you any answers for this or any comfort? Or is there anything that will guide us and tell us that this is shortly going to come to an end?
Thank you very much for your question. Firstly, I did not say we don't have any identity. I said our identity is more than the temporary designations that we have given ourselves. We identify ourselves by nationality, culture, language, race, etc. These are external. They have a social function, but that's not ultimately what we are. So if we are able to develop a spiritual understanding that I am not the body, I am spirit soul, then our interaction with people will be based on that level, and therefore we will not have the types of conflicts we have on a misconception of identity. So the world's problems stem from that, this misidentification. According to the Bhagavad Puran and the cosmology therein, this age, Kali Yuga, is meant to last for 435,000 years, 5,000 years of which have only passed. So we still have 427,000 years to go. And it will deteriorate, because that is the nature of this age. But given that, the great sage Sukadeva Goswami tells Parikshit Maharaj at the beginning of this yuga, Kalir Dhosha Nijarajan Eko Asti Mahatguna Kirtanad Eva Krishnasya Mukta Sangam Param Braje. My dear king, even though this age of Kali is so full of faults, there is one redeeming factor, and that is Hari Kirtan, meaning the holy name of the Lord, chanting the holy name of the Lord. What happens in the world is that we try to give a material solution to a material problem, and that escalates the material problems even more. You wanted to go faster, so you left the horse and cart. Now you're dealing with greenhouse gases and fossil fuels in the atmosphere. The world is having other repercussions. People want to feed people, so they clean the forests. They devastate the Amazon forests, a few hundred rugby field size per day. The lungs of the planet are disappearing, and the world is in turmoil. So no matter what material solutions you try to give in this world, it'll always end up with a fault. But if you understand and practice what these instructions are given to you about how a spiritual culture should be established, then you will participate in the golden age, which is meant to be here for 10,000 years within the Kali Yuga. And that golden age has started with the golden avatar, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So as long as we stand on the outside and make some analysis, it won't help. Honey in a bottle cannot be tasted with the lid closed. You have to open the bottle and stick your finger in, and then you know what is honey. Similarly, those who practice the spiritual life, they get realization of what the possibilities are. Thank you.
Thank you, Smita Krishna Prabhu. Please, can we have a round of applause for him? Smita Krishna Prabhu will be available through lunch to meet any of you or take any questions. And you can also set up an appointment with him if you'd like to meet him at our center in Chatsworth or in Phoenix. He's regularly there and traveling around the country. If you'd like him to come to your home to present one of these kind of programs, you don't have to invite 400 people, but however you'd like, why not? One-on-one, he says. So he's ever willing like that. He's well-traveled and very steeped in the knowledge of spiritual life, be it Vedic knowledge or any other path of faith like this. Ladies and gentlemen, just before we conclude by offering petals with some kirtan, may I ask the caterers to ready the lunches at the back. We'd be grateful whilst we're doing that. But just before that, a phenomenal new movie has arrived. You must be thinking, what's wrong with this guy? At the ceremony, I'm touting a movie. So you would have heard that my uncle Judith spoke about when Randhir at his last moments, he was, my uncle chanted the names of Narasimhadev. Narasimha is an incarnation of Krishna who gives protection. And he's worshipped like this for hundreds of thousands of years, actually. And so this entire story of Nrsimhadev has never been formulated in a movie. And we have some wonderful devotees in India that over the last 4 years put together this cinematic experience of the story. It's become such a success that just on the first weekend, in South African rands, it made more than 100 million rand just the first weekend. And it is just showing in India. Of course, it has subtitles. It's here just for about 3 days more. And all the Science Center or Cine Center cinemas, I'm not sure if there's one here in Shelley Beach, etc. But if it's not, make your way to Durban. And it's showing, it's an award-winning animated presentation of Nrsimhadev. So much so that it's built on the quality of the movie's Avatar. So here's a little sneak peek. Son. It's muted.
अली हो मेरे भाई का हत्यारा आज भी जीवित है यदि विष्णु से लड़ना है ब्रह्मदेवाय नमः हिरण्यकश्यप भागो क्या वर मांगना चाहते कुछ ब्रह्मदेव मुझे वरदान दीजिए कि आपकी रचना से जन्मे इस सृष्टि के किसी भी जीव से मेरा वध न हो न मैं दिन में और न रात में मेरी मृत्यु न घर के भीतर हो और न घर के बाहर न अस्त्र से न शस्त्र से न सजीव से जीव से अंधकार जब हद से बढ़ जाता है वहाँ प्रकाश का पुनर्जन्म होता है
प्रहलाद माँ मैं तब तक भगवान विष्णु का गुणगान करता रहूंगा जब तक सारे भक्त मुक्त न हो जाएं। एक नाम से सबकी मुक्ति है पुत्र विष्णु का परित्याग कर मैं भगवान विष्णु को अपना शत्रु कदापि नहीं मानता
भगवान को छोड़ दो
मैं प्रहलाद को मृत्यु दंड देता हूँ
ये सब तुच्छ खेल हमारे गुरुकुल में शोभा नहीं देता है
वे जैसा चाहे वैसा मेरे साथ कर सकते हैं क्योंकि वे हर परिस्थिति में मेरे स्वामी हैं
तो बुलाओ सर आज ये निर्णय हो जाए हम दोनों के बीच गीदड़ कौन है और सिंह कौन है
So we saw the premiere version on Friday, and the cinemas were booked on just one cinema hall. On one cinema hall per center, and by the afternoon they had opened up 2 cinema halls, moved them to the biggest theaters, and it was all full. So it's quite an experience. Take some time out because after Wednesday, it's no longer here. There's a special arrangement to bring it to South Africa. It's going to make probably even the Golden Globes and the Oscars for the production that it is. And even the score, the musical score, is award-winning as well. So thank you. Randhir was most especially attached to the Sugudhav, so we dedicate this whole thing to him. So now we're going to invite you. There's petals here on the table. Those of you who would like to, you can come and offer some petals to Randhir and offer your prayers to him, for him, and to his brothers like this. And then immediately thereafter, make your way to the back. We're serving a buffet style. It's vegetarian. For those of you who eat without onion and garlic, we have preparations for that as well. But there's an entire feast out there, and we're ready to serve you. Thank you for your patience on behalf of Mr. and Mrs. Randhir Sugudhav, the family members of the Sugudhav family members, on behalf of the devotees. We thank all of you for making time to be here, your patience to listen attentively, and to also bring your blessings and encouragement for the family. We're indeed grateful, and may you remember these 3 boys, and may we take a leaf out of their lives and place it within our outlook of service and seva. Thank you very much. So Smita Krishna Prabhu will now lead us in singing Namaste Narasingaya, the bhajan for Sugudhav. And we can begin with Judith and his family to offer petals, and everyone else can please join us as well. And whoever would like, you can begin queuing up for the buffet. We'll serve immediately. Thank you to the devotees from Pochevstan and their kirtan. I'll be most grateful.
Hare Krishna. So it's, I think we've had a wonderful program direction by our esteemed MC, Haridev Prabhu. And this is my cousin. Just before you do that puja, I want to also let you know that he is a very prolific author, and he's produced this wonderful book on Ramayana. And it's a flip book, so you have a story, Leela of Hanuman, and it's also become a bestseller, so it's quite popular. So those of you keen to get a copy of his book, you please come see the author, and I'm sure you probably got some copies. You can sign them or you can autograph it also. So please give him a round of applause for his wonderful effort. Ramayana and Hanuman. Ki Jai. Ugram Biram Mahavishnu Jalantam Sarvatomokam Vishibham Vishanam Bhadram Nityam Ramanyam Shri Nishinga Jai Nishinga Jai Jai Nishinga Praladesha Jaya Padma Mukta Padma Namaste Narasimhaya Namaste Narasimhaya Jaya Nishingare, 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 Jaya Nishingare. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Nitai Gaur, Hari Gaur, Hari Gaur, Hari Gaur, Hari Gaur. Bhakti Vidya Vinasha Nishringadev Bhagavan ki, Bhakta Shrestha Prahlad Maharaj ki, Gaur Premanande. All glories to the Sangha. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanande. Thank you very much to our sound technicians putting up with all our requirements. Hare Krishna.
Where I was sick. Maybe I was sick. No, I was sick. There are sort of mics. Abhishek, next time I'll be about 12 mics. Huh? 12 mics. I don't think it'll be enough. No, I'm joking. Good sound, but you got good sound, but you had run your sharp play. You have one more song.
No, few more songs. Just carry on with one bhajan.
This is the band leader. Few more songs, one more song. Joining the light. Auntie service says rest your legs. Okay, but listen, Auntie service.
No, you want one bhajan. Carry on with one bhajan. Carry on, brother. No,
So I'm going to do
put this, put it there, set it there.
What color is that?
What color is it? I don't know. But you know, you can see it. I don't know which one is sitting on.
Ladies and gentlemen, lunch is being served. So once you're done with your petals, you can make your way to the buffet table.
Yeah. First they are the BG20. Red.
Hare
Now you heard? You heard him.